Regulate. Shh. Perfect. Regulate. Regulate. Heard they talking spicy, time to regulate. Heard they talking about me, I'ma regulate. They don't really wanna see me regulate.
Welcome to the American Made Podcast. No, I can't sing. Let me stop that shit, okay? I'm glad my mic didn't work the first time around. Y'all, if y'all don't know what the hell's going on, welcome to the American Made Podcast. What happened is that I sung that amazing intro when she first came on, and we weren't recording. So I tried again, but the second time ain't the same. It just didn't work out.
Ronnie is super excited since he got a Harry Potter closet now for the podcast. So,
What, dude? Damn, Harry Potter, man. I haven't heard that. That's the first time I've heard that one. All right, in my closet alone. Right? I got my Becker flag still in the background. I got my.
it looks pretty cool though. It looks pretty cool.
Well, I'm not even done. I'm gonna put some shit on the door, and there's gonna be more lights in here to make it crazy. I'm sweating like a dog right now, but I don't know if dogs sweat. But then I got my VR, so my other planetarium, whatever you want to call it, galaxy things there, and it's fucking dope.
Yo, if your dog heard you, he'd get so mad at you. No, they cannot sweat. They do not have sweat glands.
How do you know they don't have sweat? I bet they do have sweat. Well, the hair.
Well, the thing is that they don't have any sweat glands. I read this once like a while back because I had that same question. And so I saw in an article that they sweat through their paws, apparently.
They sweat through their paws?
Yeah.
Ew, dude, that's like sweating through your hands and feet. That's nasty.
It's so weird, but yeah.
No, but yeah, it's crazy because when we were recording before, I had a L-shaped desk. It was a pretty big desk. Right, and it was behind the couch and then the TV and stuff. And my kids are getting older; things are just so much more scattered now. And I was like, "Fuck this! I need more privacy in order for me to do my sales calls or any work related." And my kids stopped touching on my shit, and I don't necessarily have the safest things on my desk now. So I'm like, I need to get it away from them because obviously I don't want them grabbing any of it.
No,
so what did I do? Well, guys, for you listening and watching, I am in a Harry Potter size closet almost. I think it's a little taller. However, my wall, this is my door. My wall is like, my hands are touching it right now, and I'm not even fully extended. But it's dope as fuck. Why? Well, even though I cut my desk more than halfway down, I fit it in a little corner where it's not meant to have a desk on, and I got my gun hung on the wall, lights up, and all that, man. And I tell you, man, it's pretty cool. I love it. I've been able to focus a lot more and get shit done. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, shout out to Harry Potter, man. I dig it. I'm staying in here for a while.
I love it. Hey, but that's good. Now I'm assuming you don't have a curfew anymore, right? To be shooting podcasts.
For some of you who don't know, my wife, oh my God, bro, podcast will pass an hour. So if you guys ever hear okay, we got to cut it short. The reality is, my wife is in the bedroom breathing fire, saying, "I'm gonna kill you for not going to sleep."
Oh my God.
God bless her, bro. She's been patient with me. No, but you know what? She's like me, man. I can't, when I go to sleep, I can't have noise. I need it to be quiet. It needs to be dark. It needs to be quiet. And she's the same way. She might have even gotten that from me because I feel like she wasn't like that before. And I understand her because if I was in her shoes, laying in bed, I'm hearing somebody talking about political stuff when I'm trying to sleep and count disease and shit, I'll probably be fucking pissed off too. So the closet helps out.
Yo, if they host house parties, I'm pretty sure you guys are the type that instead of having like a happy birthday banner or whatever type of banner to celebrate the occasion, you guys are gonna have a banner that says, "Please leave by 9 p.m."
The fuck out. Yeah, you know what? I used to be like that before where I will tell people, I love having people over, right? I have no problem with that. But, sometimes some people don't know how to get out. So how do you tell people who don't? I had this one friend of mine. He's awesome. Love the guy. Very genuine dude. But, man, he really stuck around. So the party would end 12 o'clock. He's there still talking to me, and I'm talking. I'm like, I don't want to be rude, bro. You got to leave. He looks at me. He's like, yeah, I know, bro. I know. But, I got to tell you about this. I'm like, bro, you got to, I'm about to grab you and kick you out. That dude he's awesome, bro. Yo, get the fuck out.
I love him. So funny.
You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, man. It's Yeah, when you become a parent, I don't know if it's just a parent. I feel like I hit 30 now with 2 children, and it's like, yo, for me, bedtime is just early. Right now, I feel like my whole body is just like, oh, go to sleep, nigga, go to sleep, bro, go to sleep, and I'm just like, nah, I got stuff to do. But either way, we're here. I'm in a new space. We're gonna deck the space out, and I got my Black Guns Matter shirt.
Yeah, I love that sweater or shirt that you have on. I saw it earlier today. It's pretty
Yeah,
great.
dude.
I think it's a movement, no? I think
Yeah,
it's like some guy.
yeah. So this guy, he's not part of that movement. The one that was selling the hoodie, he was just selling the.
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy in particular was just selling like merch and stuff. I saw it there, and I saw him doing his thing, amongst everybody else there. For those who don't know, it was a gun show in Bucks County, and I was like, let me support buddy there because I've wanted one of the hoodies anyway, and dude is putting the word out, so why not support him, right? So I went bought the hoodie, and I've been wearing it all day, even though it's been kind of warm over here, you know. So yeah, I dig it. He has some other cool stuff too, but there's Taj. You know what I like about Taj? I want
What?
to buy this one shirt in particular. What is it? Being a bitch is un-American. That's the one I want.
Oh, I love that.
You ever
I
seen
would
that one?
I would wear something like that.
Yeah, go to the website. They have it. Being a bitch is un-American. Yeah, that shit is hilarious. He
Peanut
has some good
bitches on
stuff.
America.
That's like, he has some good stuff on there, man. I love it. I need to start purchasing some of this stuff.
Oh my
So,
god, I would so rock that shirt.
no, bro. You know what? It's crazy because I'm like, man, if I rock that shirt, it'll be a major win because you know how many people are gonna come at me with the whole that's toxic masculinity. Man, fuck your toxic masculinity. I'm gonna wear this shit anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I don't care. I met some good people, man. I met some good people today. I'm excited about it. You
Yeah,
know?
man, talk to me about that. I know that you were trying to get involved with the Doug Mastriano campaign, so I'm just
Yeah.
curious to see what you got done. I do want you to talk a little bit about the guy that you were in the picture with that was building the southern border. I
Oh
really
yeah.
want
Okay.
I really want to talk about that and see
All
what
right.
he told you.
No doubt. No doubt. So today, okay. So I met this guy a while back when I went to vote earlier this year. His name is Ronnie. Okay, he's brown like me, but he's from Dubai, right? And it's funny because like me and him clicked very well because when we were talking and getting to know each other, I was like, hey, I want to get involved. He's like, all right, I'll connect you, get you involved, all that good stuff. And I was like, yo, what is it that you do for work? He's an aircraft technician. He's low key in some ways, I guess, looks like my dad, and has like he has the same name as my dad, and he does the same shit that my dad does for work. And I'm like, this is such a small world. So we crack jokes on that. And the guy's really cool, man, like really, really cool. So he sends me invitations a lot to different events that are going on with the Mastriano campaign because elections is coming up in what
Yeah.
November. So he's like, yo, there's a gun show going on. Do you want to volunteer? What? Yeah, I want to volunteer. Went over there. We had a table set up. It was at a hotel up here in Trevose. I never said the name right. And yo, man, it was dope. It was cool because so I sit there. It was just me and him at first, right? And I'm like, hey, let me go explore a little bit. So I went inside to go explore, and the first table I came across. Actually, I need to find the name of this guy because this guy's awesome. So the first table I came across was this guy who he makes his own knives, right? He has like I kid you not, he has like the most Viking look ever. And I'm gonna get him on a podcast. We gotta interview him because we gotta talk about some stuff with him. He is
Oh,
a badass, bro. Yeah.
oh, and sorry, and since
Oh,
you're saying about bringing somebody in, I do have a guy
let's
that
go.
actually works with me at the dealership, and he's retired for law enforcement, and he
Yeah.
sat down with a couple of important people in the government that were doctors
Oh,
um,
Lauren.
about COVID. Yeah, so definitely want to bring him on, just so
Do
you know.
not hype us up. If we want to deliver, make sure we deliver because that sounds really badass. I want to hear that. We'll talk about that. We definitely have to talk
He
about
just
that.
doesn't want to reveal his identity because like he's tied with like some crazy people. But
We'll do one of these.
yeah.
We'll do one of these. We'll do one of these. You can't see
Yeah,
me,
we'll
you
do
know?
one of those for sure. Yeah, I told him I was like, we'll work out the details and that shouldn't be a problem. But I definitely want to get him on because I was having a conversation with him at lunch, and dude,
Yeah.
I'm like, I gotta get you on. So we exchanged numbers, and it's gonna happen. So I'll talk to you
Yeah,
more about that.
yeah, let's definitely do that because we need to have interesting people like that, and I love that, right? there's so much people that have so much knowledge in things, and I think we can bring them on to be able to express and share what they know for others, to kind of like have people wake up or be informed or know what's really going on, right? So yeah, let's get that going. We'll talk about that. So I'm in the gun show. I met the guy who owns this company here. Matter of fact, I'm gonna show you his website real quick. And the reason why I want to share it is because, okay, can you see my screen over here? Awesome. Yeah. So this is his page. He makes all these knives here. Like this is all his stuff, right? All crazy blades and all stuff. He does a lot of like tactical. I mean, the guy is shredded. This guy is like no fucking joke. You meet him, you see all the like. This is his hand right here, all the tattoos on there. And he just has like he has that like, okay, this is a badass dude look, right? And in a conversation, after we started talking, I was like, yo, bro, this is cool. What you got going on here? Our conversation unfolded into a little bit of his background. He was, I believe he was an EMT, served in the military. He has his combat experience as well, years of martial arts. And one conversation that really stuck out between him and I, we were talking about the whole masculinity thing. How, we want to be toxic. Like, fuck it. We don't give a fuck what anybody else thinks. You know what I'm saying? We're men and we're going to be men and we're not going to shy away from our natural order of being a man, right? So we went into some deep conversations then. After passing his table, I met plenty of people there that was just like, dude, it's so diverse here, so cool. The people here just, when you have the discussions in regards to how they feel about what's going on, everybody feels the same way, man. People are just pissed off and tired of the bullshit, and we got into deep conversations when it comes from obviously Dumbo Biden over there and the corruption that's going within the ATF and FBI and all this other stuff. People are concerned. People are pissed off. People are just not going to deal with it no more. I know myself, I'm just fucking over it. I'm done. I'm just not tolerating it. Especially now they're taking my post down again, right?
Dude, they're riding your ass, boy.
Yeah, I'm like, they're never gonna bother me. I got less than 200 followers. I'm a small account. They don't give a shit about me. They got bigger fish to fry. Bro, wake up, post taken down. You're not allowed to do this now. Another post, and a lot of the posts are from like a year ago, right? They're not even frequent, like recent ones. So I'm like, all right, cool. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna step it up a notch, and I'm gonna give them more content that gives them a reason to take it down, because I know that it's good for people to hear, because people need to listen to this, and they don't want people to hear it, because they just fact checking or whatever the fuck it is, right?
I just feel like the more that they do that, though, it's like they're validating what everybody's been saying for the past 2 years about the censorship and all the tyrannical measures that social media has been taking. So like I said, let them keep doing it. We're going to keep coming back with Instagram platforms. So
let me tell you something, man. When people tell me, it's like, oh, they're not censoring people. It's like, it's hard for me to believe you, because I'm experiencing it firsthand. Like, seriously, it's not even just it's not like they're just taking anything down. You know what I'm saying? Well, kind of are, I guess, because the stuff they're taking down, these are stuff that was covered in the mainstream news. This is stuff that came out. This is not stuff that I just pulled out my ass and say fucking reptiles are coming out the ground and attacking people and shit. There's none of that stuff. This is stuff that's actually, being expressed by our leaders or news stations and all this stuff. So for you to take it out and say, this is not factual, I'm like, well, are you calling off CNN and, fact checking them? Because one, this case in particular, I heard it from them or Fox News or whatever, So I know it's not about facts. I know it's just to suppress the voice of others because it doesn't line up with their agenda and shit.
100%. And I just think if people just still trust the media at this point, like I don't even feel bad for you. I just think you're just plain stupid. If you haven't been, it's just clear you haven't been paying attention and you honestly have no idea what the hell's going on. It's just your apathy is what's really going to cost us this country. So remember that. When we're fighting over a can of beans, just know I'm gonna beat your ass up and I'm gonna steal your fucking can of beans, bitch. Just know that.
That's a bold claim. You better be getting that training in. You heard me? You better get that training.
Yeah.
No,
I just haven't found any classes in Fort Myers. So if anybody can recommend any classes, tactical.
You know what you should do?
What?
I guarantee you for sure, if you find like a Facebook. Oh, you're not on Facebook, are you?
Mm-mm.
Oh fuck. Okay, never mind. Well, you know what? I'll see if I ask him. I'm gonna ask my buddy see if he knows people out there because I know there's for sure there's some in Florida. You might have to take the trip to Miami, but it's like me. Like I have to take a bit of a trip to get to the course. It's totally worth it. It's a
Yeah, for
couple of hours.
sure.
It's not like you're going there for a half hour. Totally worth it. Um, but yeah, so it's like they're taking this stuff down, and I'm like, bro, like this is just making me want to say more, honestly, because I'm just fed up with it. I'm tired of people saying that they're mad and they're angry, but they're not saying nothing or doing anything. And of course, social media you can only do so much, but we're not only doing social media. We're on a podcast. We're talking what we can. We're sharing whatever we know. And I'm out there, man. I'm out there with campaign people actually sharing the word. So another part of the whole event there, I'm at the event. I'm talking to a lot of people. I'm very social. I do not shy away from speaking to people. So I met people really cool. We talked stories, exchanged stories. And a lot of people from Jersey and New York were there. And it's like, man, it sucks that you're over there. You can't, exercise your freedoms legally. Well, to their terms, legally, whatever. I'm like, to their knowledge, you can't exercise your rights. And like, yeah, it's trash and all this. In my head, I'm like, man, I'm grateful I came to Pennsylvania, man, because, I would have been living under that too. And I was at a point where I didn't care what rules are around. I'm going to protect my family. So as I'm moving through, I go back to my table and check this out. We're just talking, and the guys I was on there were awesome guys, man. Good group of guys. But we weren't really giving pamphlets or anything out. So me being me, I just grabbed the stack of them like, hey, this is for Doug Mastriano 2022. Take a look at this. Take a look at that. So in that, it sparked so many conversations with so many people, some really interesting people. And the sentiment is the same with a lot of them, man. They're just tired of this shit going on. A lot of them too, they're not, they're labeled Republicans because they're supporting Republicans, but they're more like libertarians. Majority of the people I spoke to, they just want to be left alone. They don't want to pay taxes. They want to keep their guns, and they want to build a better future for their families. Like that's just the general feeling.
The thing is, though, if you believe in all of that, apparently you're considered far right because you're not going through with the leftist agenda. So that's basically what's happening right now, because they want to create all that division and keep on making Americans believe that it's left versus right instead of finding common ground and protecting America.
Of course, and that's all the news, man. Because a lot of the conversations we had was in regards to podcasting, news, division, like how like news creates division and why podcasting is like the way to go. And what I mean by that. Well, I was telling them, it's like, I don't listen to CNN, I don't listen to MSNBC.
Even Fox, like, bro. Even Fox.
Yeah, so I told them that, and some people kind of looked at me weird. So I don't even listen to Fox, not even Newsmax, honestly. And I used to like listening to Newsmax. They're like, really? I like Newsmax. I'm like, look,
Es pasable.
I agree with a lot of the things they're saying, but the problem is it's just the same concept. Bring in fear, bring in more fear. It's like they just hype up the fear of things. They take it way beyond what it is, and it just I just feel like it creates more anger, more like you feel depressed. Like you ever go a day watching news, like for a couple of days watching the news, and you're just like, oh, fuck, man. And then you stop watching the news. It's like, yo, the world is beautiful right now. Everything looks good. The sky is blue. The birds are out.
I agree. Yeah. I mean, listen, they're a part of the play. I personally believe that because Fox News, there's a few, I'm not going to lie though, there's a few people on there that they don't participate in that nonsense. But some of the people, like, I'm kind of disappointed in Sean Hannity because literally all he does is like, oh my God, look what they're doing. But there's no fucking solution. Nothing.
That's exactly what kills me and pisses me off. I'm just like, it's like it's the same thing over and over again, man. You guys just talk about the same thing. Look, podcasting is my favorite. Okay, my number one podcast right now is PBD podcast, Patrick Bet-David's podcast. I feel like Patrick Bet-David is somebody who literally is positioning himself to really, really become a heavy influence in this country. Okay, like I'm not saying he's just going to be just a guy in the podcasting world. No. This man he's going to change a lot of things here. I don't know if you guys know the story behind it, but I believe he was Iranian, lived in refugee camps, lived in Germany, then came to the States, built a future, and they came out because there was a war where they were at, and there was like bombs dropping. I mean, this man been through some stuff. came to the United States, built a multi-million-dollar insurance company, and sold it for, I believe, over $225 million. And now starting his own media company called Valuetainment. And it's awesome. The content, the people on there, they're all fantastic people. I've met people who work really close to them. Great group of people. And when he's on there, man, like they share news, right? They share a lot of news. However, when the news they share, it's not the way the news approaches it. The way they approach is that they bring people from all sides. Like recently, they brought in the Hodge twins. That was an awesome episode.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I like them.
they brought in actual communists, actual like Marxism, actual, and they brought them in, let them share their part, and he debates them on that. And that's
and
good.
How does that turn out?
It turns out awesome. You know why? Because now you're in a place where it's like it's not a news anchor just telling you why you should hate these people. It's not that. What it is somebody having a conversation with somebody who actually believes that. And when they're having that conversation going back and forth, you yourself are able to make the decision of what makes the most sense. Right? Because now you're hearing it from the mouth of the people who actually believe it, not just from the ones who are against it. So he brings people on like that, and I'm like, bro, this is awesome, man. Like, I love hearing this. He's one what's the name of the lady that's running against DeSantis for the governor
Nikki Fried.
Yes. But
that disgusting bitch. Okay, yes. What about her?
He brought her on. Okay, and I'm like, all right, cool. So he brings on, like, I'm telling everyone, he's a big DeSantis supporter. But he brought her on, let her share her piece, let her show why she's running, what she stands for and all this stuff. By the end of the podcast, I was just like, all right, I'm tapped out from her, not from him, from her. I'm like, yeah, she just like.
He lies a lot, bro.
No,
she even tried getting on it's just I hate her. She literally gets on CNN and she starts like throwing shit about DeSantis. Obviously CNN is leftist, but she starts throwing jabs about DeSantis, and even one of the news anchors on CNN, which actually surprised me because I saw the clip, it says, you're saying this, but actually DeSantis did this. So what are you talking about? Like,
you know what? Yeah. It's crazy. And it's funny because I believe Patrick Bet-David actually even said some stuff about how CNN, they've made some changes, man, in the way they're reporting. I don't watch them, so I don't know.
Because
it looks like there's some internal changes going on, which is good because they're fucking up.
Yeah, because the thing is they got a new buyer. That's what happened.
Okay, that's why. So and hopefully, I mean, God bless, man. Hopefully they turn things around to pick up on all their mistakes and actually report and not just sit there and just talk shit. And that's for any news station. So he brings her on, and when he brings her on, the way they shared, they have the conversation. It's just like, man, I could make my decisions a lot clearer here than watching the news, because the news makes me like, I just want to punch all these people in the face. You know what I'm saying? I don't like them. And you got to really just like tone it down and step away from that, because a lot of the times the shit they're saying is not as bad as it is, right? Or it's not what they're saying it is. So when you listen to podcasts where people bring them on, challenge these people in themselves, or, like Joe Rogan's another example, right? Joe Rogan brings all kinds of people on there. You hear all different opinions, and you can make up your own decision. Who's crazy, who's not crazy. Russell Brand. So I don't know if it's true. When he said, I think he mentioned it. You've heard Russell Brand?
I like his stuff.
From what I heard, somebody was telling me, I haven't heard the episode yet. He had made an announcement where he might bring on, I think, Elon Musk. He might bring on, from what I heard, Donald Trump too. Even Bernie Sanders, like all these people. I'm like, yes, man. Like me and Russell Brand don't see 100% eye to eye, but you know what? I respect them with everything, bro. Because the way he approaches things, man, it's just like
that's what I like about him.
Yeah, he's just questioning, and I'm like, this is great. This is what we need. This is what we need. Not that shit on the news with the breaking news. Fucking Hunter Biden went and got fucking put crack up his ass. Like.
And you know what I would really like is for the presidential debates to change. So imagine if Joe Rogan did the debate between Joe Biden and Trump. I think it would have been different.
That's it's funny that you say that, because Patrick Bet-David, he's been a big advocate for that, changing the format of the way the debates are. Bring them on a podcast on like a 5-hour format, not even just like you got 30 seconds to talk, you got 30 seconds to talk. No, we got time. You're going to say your piece, and you're gonna say your piece.
And your people stay the fucking like 5 buildings away. Like it's just us 3, okay?
That's what I'm saying.
That's how I want.
Know anything, you know, it's just here it is. The person asks the questions. Person needs to remain neutral. Let them hash it out, but it's not gonna be. You got 30 seconds. Okay, so I got to tell you about the economy and the war and all this other stuff in 30 seconds. That's not a lot of time.
That's not realistic.
No. So now you get in a podcast scenario. Hey, you got like 10 minutes. Go ahead, just say it.
And especially like look at the debates, how it happened in the last presidential election. They were heavily biased. They didn't let Trump talk for shit.
Well, come on now. So now in itself, like they were biased. I do agree with that. Trump, I feel like the first one, he lost that one, man. He lost that one because he was his own enemy. He was his own enemy.
I agree with that, but like what I mean that they didn't let him talk so much is let me rephrase the way I said that. It's more so because I felt that the media was backing Joe Biden in those debates versus Trump. Like they were just making, like, it was just on stage. It was happening in the moment. They were just making Trump look like shit and putting Joe Biden on a pedestal. It was so blatant and obvious that it was so unneutral.
And I agree. I agree with that. When I watched that, I was like, this is bullshit. You know, I was pissed off because I was like, fuck Trump. I mean, like, dude, like, sometimes you just fuck yourself over, bro. Because you could have totally won that whole debate if you would have just, you know,
cooled down, you know?
I'll put it that way. Different tactics were needed. However, I do agree, you know, that's no doubt. And changing the format of it will be very, very, you know, beneficial, right? I feel like as people, I'm okay with listening to, dude, the other day, again, Patrick, but Dave, I'm going to use him as a lot of example because I'm telling you, he's also interviewed mobsters, ex like drug dealers, like that worked with the cartels. He's like all these people, like he has interviewed insane amount. I promise you, Captain, if you go down his podcast list, you'll be like, holy shit, this is crazy. So, with that being said, you know, I lost my train of thought there, but let me take a couple.
You were talking about the Doug Mastriano, but you were also saying we were getting into the conversation.
I'm gonna get back to that part.
Okay.
I mean, in regards to Patrick Bet-David, I was gonna mention something else there. So the format that, you know, he's been an advocate of bringing that format up there, and I'm like, you know, this is really, really good. We need that type of format and bring them on because there we go. Now I remember. Sorry. So he did an episode. You know who Andrew Tate is?
I've heard of him. Yes.
Okay. Andrew Tate has been somebody who's, I guess you could call him controversial, because he's just been he's blunt about the way he talks about men and how men should be and all this other stuff. And some of the stuff is brutal, man. It's like, oh my God, that's cringe, but it's the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't be soy boys, bro. We got to become men, and that's tough. And like, I had nobody teach me to be a man. I had to teach myself. Many of us are on the same path. And he's just like, he is completely uncensored. So social media just like demonetized him and blocked him. He was like Trump, like taken off completely. So because he's taken off completely, I believe Rumble might bring him on, or they already have a deal to bring him on for a few million. Patrick Bet-David did a 5-hour episode with him, or 4 hours and like 40-something minutes, whatever, same shit. Episode with him, podcast episode, asking all kinds of. If you guys haven't heard this interview with Andrew Tate and even yourself, Catherine, I highly suggest it. It's 5 hours long, so I don't know what your times would look like. Maybe listen and walk around. I don't know. But when you hear it, you're going to be like, holy shit, this is crazy. Like, this is the type of content he puts out. So I'm like, you know, if I'm willing to listen to a 5-hour conversation with Andrew Tate, I'm definitely going to be okay. And I know many people are too, with a 5-hour podcast when it's 2 presidential candidates just hashing it out. Can you imagine Gary Newsom and DeSantis? Oh, shit.
Oh my God, bro. That's an episode I'm going to grab my popcorn, roast a filet mignon, like have some mac and cheese on the side, and I'm just going to start watching
that. That's going to be a fucking bloodbath for, DeSantis will crush it, dude. DeSantis is like the first politician that I've ever looked at, and I'm like, yo, like, no lie, bro. I actually, in certain ways, I admire the guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's that kind of man, and it's insane because I've never, you know, there's always leaders and stuff. I'm like, yeah, that guy is awesome. Has all these attributes. But DeSantis, I mean, like what he did with Martha's Vineyards and this other stuff, which we can get into in a minute.
Bro. Martha's Vineyard. Hold on. Did you hear the diss that he said about Gavin Newsom? Because of the whole Martha's. Okay, so we know what DeSantis did. Like I said, we're gonna talk about it later. But he basically was answering Gavin Newsom because Gavin Newsom was complaining that he sent all the immigrants to Martha's Vineyard. Yeah. And then later DeSantis goes, you know what happened with Gavin Newsom? I think his hair gel just got to his head because he doesn't make any sense. Something along those lines. I'm paraphrasing. Yeah, I know
what you're saying. I did hear that. Yeah, it's like, well, before I go back to the gun show conversation, it's like Gavin Newsom has that like evil villain look.
Yeah,
like,
he does.
Just like the people from like the world. What's his name? The guy that leads the WEF. You know,
Klaus Schwab.
Yeah, just like him. Like they have the villain look, man. Like that evil. Like, hey, yo, we need Goku to come here and just like eliminate them.
I feel, I would say Klaus Schwab has like an evil look, but él tiene una cara de baboso. Like,
holy shit, she spoke Spanish, y'all, and she's serious. It's real. It's fucking real. No, es la verdad. It's for real. I must be kind of sure. Es una fucking verdad. Cara de baboso.
Cara de mongólico, like seriously. At least Gavin Newsom looks a little bit more evil. Like Klaus Schwab just looks like his face is droopy. He looks like the human cousin of a bulldog, like literally.
All right. We talk Spanish. We talk shit in Spanish about Gavin Newsom. But yeah, fuck him. He's an asshole. So back to the gun show. You know, so talking to the people, it's like, I'm telling them, you know, the news stations, it's just like, it's like fear mongering, and, you know, it's just like, it's very biased in either way. Podcasting, as we just shared a couple examples, it's a more neutral space that I find, you know, like for somebody like Russell Brand to say Trump, and I think I heard that right, to bring Trump on. To me, that's huge. I'm like, yo, it's not like Russell Brand is a Trump supporter, because he's not, you know what I'm saying? But he does look at what's going on, and he calls out the bullshit when he needs to call it, which is why people respect him. I think his channel is just gonna keep getting even bigger, right? And people were like, you know, thinking about it, and like, you know, you're right. It's like, just check it out, man. I gave some of these people podcast names, and as I'm doing it, I'm like, yo, this is gonna be part of the future. At some point, you know, I'm not gonna say news are gonna phase out, but if news stations don't start finding different ways to deliver the news, they're gonna become irrelevant. And the reason why is because, bro, most people I know that are like in my age group or younger don't really pay attention to these people. It's mostly older people that watch the news.
Yeah.
You know? So when the time comes and those people start phasing out, then it's like, what are you guys gonna do? Because we're tired of your shit. You know? So I think podcast is gonna be the way. Podcasting is getting so much more. What is it? I think Joe Rogan, I think even Andy Frisella has like more listeners than some of these news stations have watchers. You know,
Joe Rogan has like 11.3 million or something like that. I could be wrong, could be more.
Well, what I appreciate about Joe Rogan is like, Joe Rogan doesn't like mark himself as like the smartest man out there. He's a smart man, obviously. You know, but he does, you know, the way he talks about it, so he's like, it's almost like him saying, I'm just a regular dude. You know, I just started doing a podcast, and it started from a small podcast, and now I'm here. You know, he's like one of the most necessary voices in the century, in this lifetime. Very, very influential. Very, very important. You know? So, yeah, guys, podcasting. Fuck the news. Listen to podcasting. There's so much more value that you'll get on there than you'll get watching Newsmax, CNN, whatever, all day long, and just like fucking spoiling your brain into mush.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's that, man. So it was good, man. The gun show was awesome. Met some great people. We're going to have some guests on here. And the next part, too, is that next weekend, I'm potentially going to, well, not potentially, sorry. I'm going to meet Doug Mastriano firsthand, right? And that's going to be exciting because he's doing a rally here in Pennsylvania, and I'm going to volunteer on it. And the guy that's going to have me on there, he knows him personally. So he's like, yo, I'll put you on there so you can meet him. I'm like, yes. Yes, because I want to question him, you know? I want to see who he is as a man. There's one thing when you see it on TV. It's another thing when you meet them in person. You know, I do have some concerns, and I was telling the guy, Ronnie, who I was with today, about him, and some of the concerns are nothing like crazy. Could cost him the election, in my opinion. But it's just something that he needs to change. And what is that? Bro, Democrats, and I've told everybody at the place we were at today when we're talking to people, I was like, Democrats, bro, to their credit, they're aggressive.
And they're organized.
Exactly. We need to be that same way. If that's what they're going to throw over to us, we need to throw it over to them. I'm not saying be violent. That's not the part I'm talking about.
No,
What I'm
absolutely
talking
not.
about is like being in people's faces and actually sharing and be like, yo, this is what's going on. Happen to support them and all this stuff. Mastriano, from what I understand, he doesn't have really ads going on right now. And I'm sitting there like, why wouldn't you have ads going on? Like Shapiro, bro, if I turn on the TV, I'm seeing 2 Shapiro commercials pop up. Dr. Oz, who's running as a Republican, he has ads going on. Fetterman, ads going on. The only ones I don't see is Mastriano. Matter of fact, I wouldn't have known about Mastriano if it wasn't because of Gun Owners of America sharing that they're endorsing him. If it was because of that, I probably would have never heard about him until I would have gotten the ballot, because when the debates were going on with the Republicans that I saw, he wasn't on there. So I'm like, dude, this man, from what I've heard from people who know him, say that he's a great man. And I'm going to take the word for it because they're awesome people who I speak to. But the thing is like, dude, despite him being a great man, that's not going to matter if he's not getting people's faces. Like somebody today approached him, and not Mastriano, the guy that I was with. He's like, yo, Mastriano needs to show face in Philadelphia. That's a big city. It's not good enough just to knock on doors and give some bags and just take a survey. He needs to actually go there and speak to the people. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, dude, I'm surprised he hasn't done that. It's like one of the biggest cities, not the biggest cities in Pennsylvania.
Damn, but that's crazy though. Like, why wouldn't he have commercials? That's like a big question mark for me.
Apparently they have a plan, and it's a budget thing. Because Shapiro has raised like over $20 million.
I'm pretty sure we all know where that's coming from.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's getting money. He's a Democrat. He's way in bed with all these people. So he's getting all kinds of donations, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mastriano hasn't gotten that many donations compared to Shapiro. So I think it's just a budgeting thing. I'm not sure. But, in my head, I'm like, well, okay, if that's the case, then we need to change strategy. And, I don't know what's going to happen Saturday I meet him, but, I'm not the type to just keep my mouth closed. And I don't know all the internal stuff that's going on in the campaign because I'm not working like really with their logistical stuff and all the operational side. But I am going to share my opinions, and hopefully I get an answer from him, which, I've heard he's a good guy, man. I've heard he does speak. He will speak. So let's see, because I'm concerned. It's like, look, dude, honestly, I think that if you become become governor of Pennsylvania, you'll be like a DeSantis for Pennsylvania. I genuinely think there's a lot of potential here. Everybody should be held accountable when they're in office, including yourself. And I think you're going to do a great job from what I've seen from what I've heard. But we got to change something, because there's a lot of people who, bro, when we were giving out the pamphlets, there's a lot of people that didn't know who Mastriano was. And if it wasn't because of the conversations we were having with them, they probably would have never knew they could have voted for the man. You know what I'm saying? Until they just would have gone there. And there's a lot of people they're gonna end up voting for him and supporting him. And the minority groups too. Like, I met a lot of Hispanics, I met a lot of Asians, I met a lot of Black people who were like, yeah, we're going to vote for him because they know what Shapiro's about to bring over here. Our motherfucker is going to be like a Murphy from New Jersey over here in Pennsylvania. We don't need that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's going to be an interesting week.
So definitely let's do like a part 2 to that, because I really want to see how that goes, especially when you meet him. I know you're going to have a lot of questions.
Yeah, I have a ton of questions. So hopefully, it's a rally. I don't know how crazy it's going to be. I don't know if I'm going to be able to sit down and actually speak to him. Probably not, because everyone's going to probably want to speak to him. So I want to see if I get myself in there somehow and just have a slight conversation, if it means for just a minute. Be like, hey, this is my concerns as somebody who supports you. Like, I'm advocating for you. I'm speaking to everybody who can about you. I'm involved in your campaign amongst so many other people. And I want to see you go. I want to see you go the next. I believe you're what Pennsylvania needs. And my concern is that, I feel like we're not being as aggressive. I feel like we need to change strategy. I feel like we need to be, we're not even feel. I believe we need to be in people's faces more, and not in a disrespectful way, but in the way they can't get away from us, and they have to get informed of what you stand for, what you're going to do, what your policies are going to be about. And, Like that people know when they go and vote, they feel informed and confident that you're the man to go. Because even within the Republican Party, when I've heard there's like a slight division where people don't want to support them, I'm like, I don't understand why. Like, what's going on here? So there are some concerning factors, but if things get pulled, I mean, if their strategies hopefully works, then awesome. It shuts me up all around. As of now, though, slightly concerning. I do hope that they become very aggressive now that the elections are just like about a month or so away. It's time, man. Kick it in gear. Let's kick some ass. Let's get people informed. Let's educate as many as we can, and get those people out to the polls, because there's a lot of people that are pissed off with what's going on for right reasons, and you are someone who can deliver policies that can change that and secure our state. So you need to get this in their face so they can know that you're there and that's what you're going to do, and that's why their vote matters, and they need to vote for you.
100%.
Yeah.
So talk to me about this guy that you met that was building the border.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Talk to me about the stories that he told you too, because you said that they were intense. I'm dying to hear this.
Yeah. So there was a few of them. Okay. So guys, when we were at the gun show, one of the guys that I was speaking to, I posted a picture. Oh yeah, that's how you saw it. I posted a picture on social media. He helped build the wall, right? Like he built, I forget how many miles of it he had built up in where was it? Shit, I forget which state he was in, and they were building that.
So wait, did he own a company? Was he working for a company that was commissioned to build it?
Yeah. No, I believe he owned it, and then he was one of the companies that was contracted to go do it.
Oh, okay.
And bro, he was like, he also served in the military. And he's like, bro, the living conditions out there were fucking worse than when I served in the military. I'm like, holy shit, for real. Talk about how like the water was all nasty out there, the heat was terrible. It's just shitty conditions, right? And when it comes to the walls, I was like, yo, dude, like honestly, like how do you feel about that? He's like, I feel like the attention is just not in the right places. It's like the big problem that's going on there is the cartels, man. These cartels, they're just smart. They're innovative in the way they do things. He said when he was out there, he seen dogs with like packs on them, just running across the border with like drugs and stuff like that. There was one story he was sharing with me where there was one veterinarian out in the area they were at that was inspecting like the animals that were coming over from Mexico here, and she was like, it was like just one veterinarian inspecting all this over there, letting these animals in. Bro, a veterinarian, that person's probably bought up by the cartel and just letting any animal in with a bunch of drugs, because they were saying how like in some of these animals they saw like scars, like if they had been cut open and stuff like that. So these people are not stupid, bro. They'll stuff an animal with all kinds of drugs in it just to get
it's not even about being stupid, is that they're fucking monsters. How do you do that to an animal?
They do it to people too. They're fucking disgusting, man.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah, but it's just like, like, I don't know, it's just an animal, bro. It's just an innocent little thing, it's just,
bro,
I don't know.
A human. We eat the
I just think about my dog, you know what I'm saying?
We don't eat the human. Well,
I just think about my dog. I'm sorry, you froze, so like I didn't know what you just said, but I think about my little dog, and I'm just like,
cheers.
What did you say, though?
I'm not going to repeat this. Back to what I was saying.
Yes, repeat it.
No, maybe it's on a video, but I'm not going to repeat it. So back to what I was saying. They stuff people, okay? We don't eat people, all right? And I'll leave it.
It came out so wrong the way I say it. I get it. But...
No. What I said came out wrong. But if I froze, then nothing was caught. So that's good.
You're so
no,
funny.
But just the living conditions out there were bad. How they're very innovative in the way they do things, which I already know, and I've listened to enough podcasts. Like Ed Manifesto is one who shares some crazy stories in the way they do things. These people are creative, man. They're not stupid. The wall's not going to stop them. Is it going to slow them down? Fuck yeah, it is, because it's not like they could just walk through it, right? But they're going to figure things out, And he was talking about like the height of the wall they were building to like now they, I guess, extended the height of it to be much higher. So, well, how high is it now? He's like, well, you don't want to fall from the top. Put it that way. I'm like, oh, shit. Okay, cool. Which makes more sense than a short wall. They could just climb over and that's it. I ain't going to do that. Right. So, yeah, the conditions out there are terrible. And it's just like the same thing as we've spoken before. We need to put more of a focus on there and stop the shit that's pouring into here. You know how many people in this country right now probably hate us, like hate our guts? Not probably, that hate our guts are in this country right now that just walked in.
Yeah,
In our
members from the
administration.
cartel, probably terrorists from the Middle East too. Just terrorists from all parts of the world, people who just hate America in general, spies from China. You never know. Think outside the box, bro. Anybody could just go through there.
Yeah, it's crazy. So there's this video. I'm gonna see if I can find it, man. If I can find it, it would be great. There was a video that came out not too long ago where cartel members, I believe it was in Arizona. I don't know if it was Arizona. They came into Arizona and they're driving on a pickup truck with AK-47s just on their laps in the
Yes,
U.S.
I did see that. I
You
did see that
saw
video.
that one?
Yeah.
It's gnarly, man. Like these people don't give no fucks, you know. And these are states. Well, if I lived in one of the states near our border, you best believe not only do I have guns, but I have all the training that I can get. Like all the training I can get. Because if they're coming on my property, I mean, these people are not here for the proper reasons. You know, they're coming in here with bad intentions. Sorry, with bad intentions. You know,
No, for
and that
sure.
family's my priority. So, people are gonna get laid out. They're coming on
No,
there.
and also one thing that I do wanna talk about too, since we're talking
Yeah,
about that, about the population near the border. I
yeah,
actually met one of my clients that flew out from Texas to come see me to buy his new car.
yeah,
And he drove it back home over there. So he lives close to the border. I forget what city it is.
yeah,
Um, but he said that he's actually trying to move a little bit up north, like actually Dallas or, Austin, just something just way up north and away from the border. Because what he said was, because he's an electrician,
yeah.
and he says that the immigrants that are coming in, they're fucking up their economy because companies prefer to pay those people that obviously way below minimum wage, that
Of
don't have
course.
papers, obviously cheap labor, and so they're stealing American jobs.
You
So
know,
that's also a huge problem.
it's logical, and it's shame on the people who are allowing it to happen. You know, like
Hmm.
I understand. Look, times are tough. Things are expensive. People want to get paid a lot. There's not much money to go around to go pay people because things are getting so expensive. Like I understand that whole theory, but at the same token, if you're out there, um, supporting those things that are not helping the country, it's not going to get better. So a perfect example is actually working in the restaurant industry. I remember a long time ago, I was having a conversation with someone, and they want to be a chef, and they wanted to be a chef, but they didn't want to. Okay, they wanted to be a chef, but they were conflicted to be a chef because they were like, hey, why would I want to be a chef if I'm expecting to get paid this amount, but they could just bring someone who's undocumented, which in kitchens I worked on was the case, pay them below minimum wage and work probably twice as much, you know? And I was like, fuck, bro, that is true. I mean, I'm the one to go work in a restaurant, bust my ass in a nice restaurant just to make $12 an hour. Like if I bust my ass, especially if I went to culinary, I didn't go to culinary school. These people went to culinary school. You went to culinary school, you came out with that debt for the school, you want to become a cook or chef, whatever, just to get paid crap. You know what I'm saying?
It's fucked
So
up.
yeah, it's crazy. And I do pray that we put like more of an emphasis on like, securing the border and stuff like that. And having a conversation with them, it's like, yo, it's just the same thing I've seen everywhere. It's not the greatest conditions. I would not want to live close to the border. It's
You
horrible.
don't know who's coming over the border. And I understand that sometimes people may say, you have to be human and all that stuff. I completely understand, but I'm sorry. My father escaped communism. He immigrated to America the right way, and to me it's an insult to him how easy it is to get in here to the US. And then
Well,
especially like we don't know who it is. I get it that there's a time to be empathetic. I mean, I feel bad for the
yeah,
good
that's what
people that are
I'm
trying to
saying.
come here and they want to give a better life for their children. I completely understand that. My dad
Yeah,
did that, so I can talk about it.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
but at the same time, you have to do it the right way. There's customs in this country that need to be respected, that right now the situation that we're in right now as a country is because our customs are not respected. You know what it is, that the Star Spangled Banner, you're not it's not even sung in schools anymore. I remember getting up at 8:30 in the morning on the fucking dot with my hand over my chest with the pledge of allegiance, and also singing the Star Spangled Banner every fucking morning. That's not in there anymore. The pride of America is gone. And it's like, and I mean, I feel like it's making a huge comeback because I think a lot of people are starting to realize what's going on, but there are customs in every single country. Why do you think in Switzerland it's hard to immigrate? Why do you think in other countries it's hard to immigrate? Because there's customs that need to be respected. People have empathy for immigrants, but also at the same time, there's other cultures that'll come in, and then they're gonna start diluting the whole nation, you know? Yeah. And you know, like I said, this country is founded upon like the difference of beliefs, difference of religion. Like that's what America is. But I feel like that's not being respected. I feel like people are bringing in their customs and then later that's it. They're not respecting our country. So why the fuck are you here? Like you want to be, you're coming from somewhere else and you want to be a communist? Get the fuck out of here. You don't belong here. That's where I'm trying to say.
Shit is just so messed up in so many ways here. You know, like I don't understand. Like you're right. You know, like why are you here? You know, people. I was thinking about this 2 days ago. How you know people won't say they're proud to be Americans, but they're proud to be from wherever they're at. They're so prideful of it. They love it. And all this other stuff. I'm like, all right, cool. Why don't you?
And they weren't even born there. That's the funny part.
Or more than a month. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you're so proud. It's like, I understand you're proud of your roots and all that. Like, I respect that. I'm proud of my roots, I guess, too. I've lived in Ecuador. You know, it's a beautiful place. I loved it. Would I go back and live there? Fuck no. I think America's a way better country. And not only do I not even think, I know it's a way better country. It's safer compared to what the shit I've seen out there, right? There's more opportunity, which we don't have. They don't have. A lot of people don't have where I lived at. And the crime, I mean, I can't say the same for now, you know, but first-hand experience, man, it's just it wasn't kind out there, you know. And I'm like, yo, why would you want to live in a country that you don't like, and why wouldn't you make the effort and go live in a place that you're so prideful to be from, right? So like, let's say, hey, you know what? Oh, I'm Puerto Rican. Oh, for real? You've been to Puerto Rico? You lived in Puerto Rico? No. Were you born in Puerto Rico? No. All this other stuff. Okay, cool. It's like, you know, you love Puerto Rico so much, or you know, you hate this country. So I met people like that. You hate this country, but you love Puerto Rico so much. It's a beautiful island, nice beaches out there. Why don't you just grab your stuff and move out there and be happy?
Exactly.
Why stay here and be miserable? You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand some people's circumstances with family. Okay, I can understand that. I have a friend who wants to move back to Jamaica. He's proud to be Jamaican. He actually came from Jamaica, right? Mm-hmm. And you know, and I respect him because honestly, he's like, he doesn't like it here. And he wants to go back to Jamaica, and he's gonna go back. He's saving up his money. He's putting shit together. He's getting what he's nice. He's gonna him and his daughter are gonna go back to Jamaica. You know what, bro? All the power to you. You're going to a place you're gonna be happy, that you're gonna love. I respect that, right?
Yeah, and then you put your money where your mouth is.
Exactly. You're not talking shit. You know, you actually love this place, and you want to go because you love it so much, dude. Fuck yeah, go be happy. Go and be happy. You know, I love to do it. I talk to him all the time, and I have no problems with that whatsoever. Would have been a different conversation if he said so much shit, but he's not making no effort to go over there. Oh, because of this. So, okay, cool. So you don't want to leave because you know you got it good here, right? So how about we stop talking shit and just be proud that we're from a place where, you know, you got it good compared to other places.
Oh, for sure. And there's a reason why those same countries that people like to say that they're actually fly our flag. There's a reason for that.
Well,
which they don't talk about that. There's not a question that triggers me more than someone asking me where I'm from. Like there's not a question that triggers me more than that. Especially I say it annoys me. I don't know. Like people are like, I have like some of these people at the dealership, like they ask me, they're like, oh, where are you from? And it's the Hispanic ones. That's what bothers the shit out of me. It annoys me. Yeah. So they're like, oh, where are you from? I'm like, I'm American. They're like, yeah, but where are you from? New York City. You know, like, I mean, let me rephrase that. The first time that you ask me, okay, that's fine because you genuinely want to know, like, you know, if I'm from here or not. But when I say I'm American and they're like, oh, but you look Hispanic, I'm like, I was born in New York City. Yes. Do you want to know where my parents are from? That's a better question.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what I say. You know what? Like the other one is, hey, what's your nationality?
Bro, I hate that shit.
From the United States.
American, bitch.
Like I'm from the United States, you know, from the U.S. What's your nationality? Bro, I'm from the U.S. I mean, like you're Latino, right? Well, my family, yeah, my family came from Latin American. Oh yeah, so where your family from? Oh, you met my family. Okay, my mom and my dad's from Brooklyn. Oh, but so like they're trying to get it on me. I'm like, bro, I told you, bro. Like if you want me to go back, fine. My grandfather, grandfather from my mom's side from Ecuador. We lived in Ecuador too, and then from my father's side, they're from Honduras. That's what you want to know? Fucking maybe the better question is where do you descend from or whatnot? Where's your ancestors from and shit? Like it's
Well,
crazy. Like
on
people don't understand that word. They're like, what's nationality? Nationality's like, bro, I'm from the States. Like this is where I'm born. This is where my citizenship is. This is where I live. Like what the fuck do you mean?
Well, from ancestry.com, the DNA test that I took, I guess I'm 2% from here and 3% from there. Is that what you want to know?
I was like, bro, my grandparents are from there. If you know what? You seem like you so much want to know where I'm from, I guess, whatever. I'm like some percent Mexican as well, and I have roots even in Africa. Literally, like I have an uncle who did the what's it called, the DNA test when and I found out we have family from out there. So I'm like, all right, cool, there you go. Now you know. Like I'm from all over the planet. I'm from Earth. That's
Yeah,
gonna be
basically.
my next answer. Is like, where you from? I'm from the U.S. Oh, but where you from? Like, I'm from planet Earth.
From planet Earth.
I'm from planet Earth. I'm not a Martian. Okay, let me live. That's all I gotta
Oh
tell
my
you.
God.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. There's a lot of things that are twisted, but whatever, man. Honestly, look, I'm gonna leave this podcast at this. 2022 is a very important year. A lot of important things are happening. I'm confident Florida's going to stay where it's at with DeSantis. I don't think that's going to change. DeSantis is just, he's proven. Pennsylvania, I'm concerned, and I'm hoping for the best. If Mastriano doesn't win, bro, I've made the decision. Mastriano does not win, I'm out of Pennsylvania. I'm not going to deal with Shapiro's bullshit.
Are you
I know
moving to Florida?
That's the idea. That's the goal.
Okay.
But Florida's like I've heard, all the northern birds have gone out there right now, and it's like
Oh
I'm like
no,
I
but
really want to.
trust me though, like I know it sounds scary. I know it does, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I've met a lot of people through conversation, especially at my dealership. A lot of the people that have bought cars from me, are a lot of people that are moving from up north, from Connecticut, from Chicago. And like we start getting into the conversation because I'm just curious, like, hey, so why is it that you're coming down here? It was an elderly couple from Chicago that broke my heart. They're like, listen, we love living in the city. It was gorgeous, but the thing is that the politicians over there, they're shitheads, and there's a lot of crime going on. People are getting killed.
Yeah.
People close to us are getting killed, and it's like, no, we want to move. We want to move to a red state, and we're going to support the red state. I have one of the internet managers that just got hired. I asked him, I'm like, hey, so why did you move from Chicago? He's like, bro, last year my brother got killed. So, and he left, and that man left a very small daughter behind and a wife. Like it's bullshit,
Bro,
you know?
It was crazy. I mean, like Miami has a lot of crime too, right? But Chicago, for example, right now, I believe it's in 2021, right? I mean, sorry, 2023.
Well, Miami, let me, but before you get into that, Miami, that's also one of the reasons why I left it, is turning into a shithole. Unfortunately, it did have a Republican mayor before, but where I say unfortunately is because somehow a Democrat got elected there throughout last election. I don't know how, but
it could be because of the influx of people from up north coming down south. It literally could be that.
Yeah, it could be that too. And then also like Antifa and all these people, you never know. Look what happened in the Summer of Love. Miami was affected.
That's true. So in Chicago, they're calling it like the purge law. I don't know if you heard about that.
Yes.
Yeah. And I look at that and I'm like, bro, it doesn't sit right with me. You guys are not doing what? And then on top of that, you're making it difficult for people to own firearms. Okay? And then you're gonna allow these criminals to go out and do all this shit. Like, what do you guys what the fuck? I mean, like I have an understanding what's going on, right? But it's still like, what the fuck? You're why are we creating chaos like this? Look, check this. I'm gonna show you something real quick. This guy here Okay. This guy here, his name is Fetterman.
Oh
He's
my
running,
God, that clown.
yeah, he's running against Dr. Oz right now in Pennsylvania for Senate. This motherfucker, he's
Okay.
always wearing a hoodie. He's always wearing a hoodie. This motherfucker is a clown in so many ways, right?
I
And he's
heard him
talking about,
talk.
yeah, and he can't even, yeah, he's just there. He's not
He's
fit
an
to be a
idiot.
leader. And not
Yeah.
just that, he wants to support the release of criminals out of jail. And I'm just like, bro, why?
I mean,
You
if
know,
you
like,
look at him, he looks like a convict anyway.
well, there's a video apparently. Excuse me, I haven't watched it or gotten far into it. But apparently, he chased down some black dude with a gunpoint, because I guess he thought the guy was committing a crime, and he chased him and had him at gunpoint. There was like a whole mess. There's also claims. Again, I'm not saying this is true because I don't personally know. This is all I've heard. It's like the attack points on him that he lived with. Like, he got his money for his parents. He lived with his parents for so many years. Like, this guy's just a fucking loser.
A
Yeah,
loser.
he's just a fucking loser running for Senate. And I'm like, there's people out there who really want him to. He's the salvation of Pennsylvania, according to them. I'm like, how? Like, this is the type of man you want to look. I'm not a crazy fan over Dr. Oz, to be honest with you. I feel like he's gonna be a fucking
Not me
rhino.
either. I think he's a Trojan horse.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not. But honestly, though, I'll take him over this guy, so over here.
For sure.
So that's that. And he's supporting the same thing. I'm like, at least in Pennsylvania, bro, I'm strapped. Somebody's going to try to hurt my family, bro. If I get a hold of this, you better pray to God that I don't let that round out before you do, because I'm protecting my family with everything I got. You know what I'm saying? So it's not going to be like Chicago, where now people over there, they're going to have a hard time. It's not like here where I can defend myself, and that's that. So, guys, we appreciate you guys very much. And if you guys heard this, man, really found value in this episode, please make sure to share this show. Okay? This right now, it's crazy. I was thinking about this today. I'm like, I was watching this video of when Joe Rogan, when he first started his podcast, and he had like a camera that was like over him. It was like nothing like it is now, and same thing with other podcasters. And I look at these moments, I'm like, we're speaking about what's going on, from a point where we're just sharing our opinions. That's it, right? At the end of the day, you guys make up your decisions, do your research, and challenge us. I'm okay with that. Nothing wrong with that. But we're gonna expand this because this is important. People need to know what's happening, and the only way we grow and we're able to share more of this is by sharing the show. So if you guys know anybody who needs to be informed, and we shared something of value here, make sure you share this. We're gonna have more stuff coming out, and we're gonna have cool people. She just mentioned somebody who I'm gonna hold her to it. We're gonna have her on here, and I'm gonna have the guy from I believe it was it Black Market Tactical. He's like a real life Viking, man. That guy's awesome. I'm gonna bring him on too. He's gonna share some cool shit. So
Heck
guys,
yeah.
I appreciate you, and take care.
Regulate, regulate. Heard they talking spicy, time to regulate. Heard they talking about me, I'ma regulate. They don't really wanna see me regulate.